Welcome back to Shum's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over wealth rituals and how they actually work. So wealth rituals is something that a lot of people don't really discuss because it's like voodoo. It's very much an esoteric science that a lot of people don't seem to understand. But what you have to understand about this is just like everything else in life, it's just a game, and you have to know how to play the game in order to maximize your potential. So if you're somebody who's struggling financially, you're somebody who's struggling to manifest the reality that you want, you're probably not playing the game correctly. Now, what do I mean by that? You're probably not playing the game correctly because you're probably trying to make money outside of things that you're supposed to be doing when it comes to your astrology. So following your big three, sun, moon, and rising sign, looking at your money houses, the 2nd, 6th, and 10th house, looking where hidden money could be, the 8th house. You're probably also not looking at your numerology, your birth number, how you naturally think, your life path number, your higher self, what you're here to actually do, your karmic lesson, and then your expression number, your natural skill sets and drawbacks. The expression number is the most important one in the equation when it comes to astronumerics because that was your prior life path in a prior reincarnation. So understanding that, you then can bridge that into, okay, well, I'm already naturally good at this, so it's going to be easier for me to get it done this time. You combine your expression number with what you know in your astrology chart with your money houses. If those things align or have similar topics that they discuss, that's how you get rich. It's really that easy. Now, let's say you're doing all that and then things still aren't quite working out for you, meaning like things still just aren't clicking. Nothing's happening. You're not making money fast enough. You're listening to my videos saying trust the process, and it's just simply not working. The next step, it would be wealth rituals. Now, there are a couple of different variations of wealth rituals that people do, and these are things that I was hesitant to talk about online just simply because, to be quite honest, this is brutal, and this is what the elite people are doing to maintain control over the world that you think you live in. And what they're doing is they're using the transits that us astrologists know, and they know when to do different things like sacrifices on the youth, sacrifices on animals, blood oaths, rituals. The mafia does this on Halloween. The elite level people do it when it comes to even things like ejaculation. They know how to turn that energy from a male or a female into prana, which is essentially creative energy. Men naturally have the prana. We have the creative energy that fertilizes the egg. That creative energy you have can be transferred to other things. That's not what I'm here to talk to you guys about today, though. I'm just showing you guys how in depth and how brutal the world can actually be. They can use things like newborns, pretty much cut them open, and then use their organs as a form of sacrificial ritual, right? Like, it gets very, very brutal. And it's things that I can risk getting kicked off YouTube for even discussing, right? Because they can just be offended by what I say. So I'm going to be very vague in respects to what these level people do with rituals. If you want to know more about that, I'd say just DM me because like I can't discuss that stuff online at all, as that will just get me in a lot of trouble with probably the government and everybody else. So let's move on. How does this affect you now? So aside from all the doom and gloom, there is a positive aspect to what I'm saying though. You can use different glitches within your astronumeric science to actually bring about the results you want, which would almost seem like it's at ease. Like it's like you're barely trying to do it. It just works automatically. How do you do that? Very, very simple, actually. You have to know what deity, when it comes to Eastern numerology and Eastern astrology, what deities are governing you. Now, what do you mean by deities? Somebody would probably say angels, demons. What's around you that you can utilize? These elite level people, like I was saying, they'll use like demons. They'll use like the money gods of hell and things like that and manifest a life that they want. But they get caught in a blood oath. They get caught in things that leave their soul entrapped here in this planet that we live in, this prison, right? So you don't want to really get caught in that. But what you can do is use different deities to your advantage. If you know that you're a life path 5 per se, there is a deity for life path 5 that can give you wealth because it's represented by, in Vedic or in Chaldean numerology, they would say that is a representative of Mercury. Mercury is its governor. We've gone over other things in my prior video when it comes to astronumerics. We're leaving that alone for a second. We're dealing now with the ritual part of it. They would say you need to praise Mercury. These are the people that built the pyramids. These are the people that left behind all these different relics. So we have to take some of this stuff very seriously, because it's like they're able to build things, colossal things, that we can't even build now with all the technology we so apparently have. They used magic to get a lot of this stuff done, and their magic is still available to every single person, but it's never going to be taught in any sort of school, especially in the Western world. So you can use different things. If you're a life path 5, you can use the Mercury energy, but you have to know what day to do it. For instance, what's Mercury's day in the week? It'd be Wednesday. I'm just giving you guys one random example. And then on Wednesdays, there's a certain ceremony you have to do, maybe a certain color you have to wear, a certain time you have to do it. And these things is where you need somebody like myself, a numerologist and astrologist, to look at your chart and then see how can you perform this ritual to then attain wealth, or to even manifest a certain reality, maybe even a job, other opportunities, a significant other, better health, blessings for the people around you if they're the ones that are just sort of down on their luck. You can control a lot of different things if you know what deities to ask, but they need certain words, because like I always say, numerology is the language of God. So if you know what words carry certain vibrations, you then know how to then use certain words. It's not even going to be in the English language, it's going to be in different languages. You're going to know what words to use to then bridge the life that you want. Once you're able to bridge that life that you want, it's game over, because then you can now start controlling things. You now have control over your karma because you know your astronumeric chart fully. You know how to glitch money because you know where to look in your chart to attain money, where you look for in your chart to find the ideal career with the most ease. And then on top of that, if you're using rituals, doing things like fasting alongside those rituals, God forbid you did a blood oath, not saying to do that at all, I would say literally getting rich is almost impossible not to attain, because you're at a point where you're using so much things that are going to go in your favor, whether you're looking at it from a moral compass or not. You're bending reality to your will. That's why I always say there's no such thing as like a strongest life path. There definitely is life paths that have a higher potentiality when it comes to manifestation than others, but it's not necessarily that other life paths can't do it. We all manifest our own thing, for one, and two, you're able to control your reality, like I said, if you know who governs it, because it's like we're living on rented time, and there's governors that are watching over each and every one of us and that control different variables of our life. Now, if you're like, let's say, a life path 8, and you know that Saturn is controlled by Lord Shani, then you know what to do on Saturdays. You start fasting, maybe start wearing blue or black, and then you start doing different things that are going to bring you a result that you're looking for, such as donating on Saturdays, performing a ritual for Shani facing a certain direction. This is what I'm talking about. I offer these ritual readings, just look on my page for sure. But it's something that I warn everybody to be very, very careful with. The reason I'm even making this video today is simply because people are always asking me, well, how do I get rich? What are the rituals? What are the wealth rituals? Well, that's how it is. The wealth rituals are there. They're available to you, but you got to know what you're getting yourself into. I practice some of them, but I don't do the whole affirmation prayer part of it. Not necessarily. You don't know who you're calling. And if your spirit isn't strong, if you're in a very desperate state, those things can essentially possess a person. So you want to be very, very careful with how you translate this energy, for sure. All right. But there are wealth rituals out there for no matter what life path you are, including mass numbers, karmic debt, that can alleviate a lot of the challenges in your life and bring forth blessings with just you doing things at the right time. That's why everything just seems very weird, where it's like there's some people that seem to be trying so hard in life, they don't see any results. Then there's people out there that barely try, and it's like they're just getting the world just at their fingertips, like everything just at their feet, right? So you have to just know how to glitch your system that you're in. Everybody has glitches within the game that they're playing, but it's just up to you to know what rituals to do at what time, and you'll manifest the reality that you want. All right, so thank you guys so much for your time today. I know it was a bit vague. I can't go into the rituals like that. It's not about gatekeeping. It's simply, well, YouTube guidelines for one. And then two, yeah, it's very individualistic to each person. You can't just say every life path 3 should do this, every life path 5 should do this, or every Gemini should do this. It's more or less what combination of energy you have, what's the main governor, and then we're able to figure out what ritual is going to suit you best. So if you guys are interested in a reading like that, definitely DM me at Shem's Universe 8.0 on Instagram. or email me at shemsuniverse@hotmail.com. I'll answer all inquiries in that respect, and we can definitely get to it. Like I said, I would only recommend doing this if you truly feel stuck in life and you don't feel like there's any other alternative or option for you, as these rituals definitely work very quickly, but you got to be very careful with the energy that's actually being translated to you. That can sort of implode on you if you're not doing the correct things, or if you did something half-hearted, meaning you had an intention one day when you did the ritual and the next day it's like you change your mind. That thing is permanent. It's going to happen now regardless. So if you try to change your mind and go away from it, you're going to find that you almost have bad luck, because that magic is now working to bend you into that reality. All right. So if you guys have any more questions about it at all, like I said, leave in the comment section or just inquire with me on my email or Instagram, and I'll answer everybody. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Peace.